Alexandre Pato, the wasted wonder boy. Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. If you're new here, welcome, and consider subscribing to my channel and click that little bell notification below. Alexandre Rodrigues da Silva, better known by his fans as Alexandre Pato, was born on September 2nd, 1989 in Brazil. Numerous athletes have shown tremendous early potential, but ultimately fell short of the millions of fans' high hopes and expectations for them. Some fail because they have a bad attitude, while others fail because of shady associates or brutal injuries. For some, the reason can be both, and Alexandre Pato is one of them. During his time at AC Milan, he was once referred to as a wonder kid, but his path to world-class status quickly went off course. So if you ask me to describe him in one sentence, I'd say this. He was the Brazilian wonder kid expected to follow in the footsteps of Pelé, who instead became a playboy exiled in China following the fall of AC Milan, a not-Chelsea loan, and a lot of partying. Now allow me to walk you through his journey to success, which soon led to his doom. After progressing through International's youth divisions, Pato made his professional debut at the age of 17 in November 2006 at Palmeiras, scoring on his Brazilian championship debut. Pato also scored on his professional debuts for AC Milan, Chelsea, Corinthians, and Brazil. It was the beginning of a trend. A month later, he scored against Al Ahly in the Club World Cup, which International won, shattering Pelé's long-standing record for the youngest player to ever score in a FIFA-organized competition. Pato, like so many other gifted Brazilians, was swiftly recruited to Europe and signed with Milan for €24 million in August 2007. Pato had an outstanding debut season for Milan, scoring 9 goals in 20 appearances. He led the team in scoring the next season with 18 goals. Pato spent 3 excellent seasons at the San Siro, but around the close of the 2009-10 season, he began to experience the first injury that would quickly derail his career. The most troublesome of his hamstrings, which went out 3 times in a single year, was followed by problems with other thigh muscles, which limited him to only 25 appearances in his final 2 seasons with Milan. It also cost Pato a spot in the Brazilian team for the 2010 World Cup, which would have been the next step in his career, even if Neymar's absence garnered more attention. This boy was a Romeo. Pato had an affair with the model Stephanie Brito, whom he met during a swimwear picture session only a few months after arriving in Italy. They dated intermittently until getting married in an extravagant €170,000 ceremony at the 5-star Copacabana Palace in Rio de Janeiro in July 2009, wearing matching Dolce & Gabbana costumes. Brito blamed Pato's non-stop partying with Ronaldinho, who joined Milan a year after they wed, for their breakup, during their short marriage of 9 months, which ended in a harsh legal battle. Pato wasn't heartbroken. So in 2010, Pato was romantically associated with Deborah Lira, the reigning Miss Brazil. Later that year, he started dating Barbara Berlusconi, the daughter of Silvio Berlusconi, the owner of Milan at the time and a former Italian prime minister. Many things happened and the club couldn't control him. Pato's descent was just as swift as his ascent. By the age of 21, Pato had not only led AC Milan to their first league title in 7 years, but also wowed his own country at boyhood club Internacional. But after a stellar start, injuries took their toll, and he lost his prominence before going back home. So as a result of damage to his body, and perhaps a growing fear of losing everything, his career took a sharp downward turn. Anyhow, in January 2013, the team opted to cut their losses and sold him to Corinthians of Brazil for €11.5 million. The reasonable thing for someone with so many muscle issues was to go back home. They believed Pato, who was still just 24 years old and had accomplished a great deal, could restore his good name in his native country. And he did, but not how they expected. Within a year, he had earned the reputation as one of Corinthians' worst acquisitions. Pato still had his greatest years ahead of him, and by scoring with his first touch on his Corinthians debut, he continued his pattern of making a strong first impression. After spending €15 million on Pato, Corinthians was under immediate pressure from the supporters to perform. Pato squandered 2 clear-cut opportunities during a terrible performance against Goiás, which drew harsh condemnation from the Timo crowd. Then, after ending his career at Corinthians, Pato joined Villarreal for €3 million. 5 times less than Corinthians had initially paid for him after his disastrous stint at Chelsea. He immediately conquered Spain, just as he'd done in Brazil and Italy. Pato revitalized his career at El Submarino Amarillo, if only momentarily, just like Diego Forlan, Juan Roman Riquelme, and many others had done before him. Perhaps nothing better captures Pato's mercurial genius than his aforementioned transfer fees. He is so gifted that Corinthians felt they had to spend 15 million euros to sign him, that Villarreal thought they could save a bad start for 3 million euros, and that Villarreal quadrupled their profit on him after half a season. But following another successful run, Pato decided to take advantage of the outrageous salaries offered by the Chinese Super League, and signed up with Tianjin Quinjian, paying Villarreal 18 million euros in the process. The youthful forward found it difficult to reach his early promise, and ultimately gave in to the pull of the financially robust Chinese Super League. So Pato was one of many Brazilians who were drawn to China by its riches. The start of Pato's life in China didn't go as planned. Italian superstar Fabio Cannavaro, who served as his coach at the time, had a great deal of faith in the Brazilian. Pato was regarded as the signing who could take Quinjian to the next level, along with Axel Witsel. But his debut ended with multiple missed opportunities and a 2-0 defeat at Guangzhou RNF. In a 1-1 tie with Shanghai Greenland Shenhua, he promptly missed a late penalty, depriving Quanjin of their first ever Super League victory. However, Pato quickly found his rhythm and scored 15 goals overall in 24 games for the team. He managed an almost identical performance the next season in 2018. When he should have been approaching his peak, the youngster with the world at his feet was playing for Tianjin Tianhai in the Chinese Super League, and his fall was just as dramatic as his rise. As the situation of Tianjin Quanjian's turned bad when the club's owner had been detained due to his connection with alleged pyramid marketing and deceptive advertising, the players had no options other than leaving the club. So on March 27, 2019, Pato made his way back to Sao Paulo. Pato's second tenure at the club came to an end with 9 goals and 35 appearances on August 19, 2020, when he and Sao Paulo negotiated a contract termination agreement. On February 13, 2021, MLS team Orlando City confirmed the signing of Pato as a free agent signing on a 1-year contract ahead of the 2021 season after teasing his presence with a series of duck-themed social media posts the day before. Since joining Orlando City in 2021, Alexandre Pato has struggled to make an impact in Major League Soccer because of injuries. On April 17th, he made his club debut, beginning the team's home opener against Atlanta United, but was forced to leave the game in the 80th minute due to his injury. The 32-year-old made just 4 appearances and started just 1 game that season. Pato re-signed with Orlando on a 1-year deal before the 2022 season. In his second season with Orlando, the former Brazil international rebounded by scoring 3 goals and dishing out 6 assists in 22 games. Sadly, Pato was not able to complete the 2022 MLS season, as he had to return to Brazil for exploratory knee surgery to treat an injury he sustained on August 13th. In the 41st minute of the Lions' 1-0 away victory over the New York Red Bulls, Alexandre Pato was hurt. Following a cross from Facundo Torres, the 32-year-old clashed with Drew Yearwood and had to be carried off the field. The surgery was scheduled for September 9th, and it's unknown when he'll be able to return. In a recent interview, Pato said he misses Italy and would like to go back to Milan even though his career has led him to teams like Corinthians, Villarreal, Tianjin Tianhai, and Sao Paulo, and now Orlando City in the years since his departure. So, will he be able to recover from his injuries and become the wonder boy he once was? And will Milan take him back? Let's have hope, as manager Dunga of Milan once said, his style of play is identical to that of Ronaldo. He is not, in my opinion, a typical skill. About Pato. So that's all for today's video. If you made it this far, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. Thanks for watching.